going into this. Yes. Here we go. Actually, hold on. Let me look up what the clues were. The victim was Sayaka Maizono. The time of death is estimated to be around 1:30 a.m. The body was discovered in Mako's room in the dormitory. The death took place in the bathroom. The cause of death was a stab wound to the abdomen, and her right wrist appears to be fractured. There's a number of scratches and gouges on the bed and the walls of Makoto's room. Makoto took this from the gym entryway and put it in his room. The sword was found out of a sheath and on the floor in the middle of the room. The sword handle was missing some of the gold coating as part of the blade. On the night of the murder, Makoto and Sayaka traded rooms and room keys. When the victim was discovered in Makoto's room, he was also found in Makoto's room. Sayaka had originally asked Makoto to switch with her when someone attempted to force their way into her room and she became frightened. It had been placed in Makoto's room before he arrived. It remains unopened and there is no evidence of it having ever been used. All the other male students claim they haven't used theirs either, but still. Ooh, that's interesting. Not a single hair was found on the floor at the scene of the crime. In addition, the lint roller shows evidence of being used. Ayaka's right wrist had been fractured and her wrist was glittery at the injury's location. In addition, her hands appeared to be completely clean, except for the index finger of her left hand, which had some blood on it. A series of numbers had been written in blood in Makoto's bathroom wall. Okay, so that's... I feel like that's an N-O-E-R? Noel? It is assumed that Sayaka wrote these numbers while leaned up against the wall as she lay dying. I don't think those are numbers. I think those are letters. N-O-E something. Wait. Does that spell Leon? Wait a minute. Okay, well anyways, before I get into that, it was broken, door frame didn't work, nameplates were switched, knife was missing. The knife from the kitchen went missing while Aoi was in the dining hall. Aoi swears that Makoto did not come to the dining hall at any point while she was there. There's apparently a trash room within the school. It's blocked off by a sturdy gate that can only be opened with the trash room key. So it hasn't been opened. How did they fucking reach that? The incinerator can be activated via a switch on the machine. Hifumi was on cleaning duty and he claims that the last time he saw the incinerator, it was off. However, when Makoto checked it after the incident, the incinerator was in fact on. The distance from the gate to the incinerator is roughly 30 feet. Who was Leon again? Oh, I think we found them. Baseball star. And what would you know? I mean, the name also points to Leon. Oh my god, I really fucking hope this is right. No one has E-O-N in their name, right? Nope, he is literally only one. Unless it's not an E. And it's actually numbers. I feel like it... The piece of burnt clothing was found next to the incinerator in the trash room. It is apparently part of the shirt cuff and has a noticeable blood stain on it, which is pink. And then why was this? Apparently Yasuhiro left the ball in the laundry room on accident, so anyone could have come along and taken it. He threw the ball. It's Leon. He threw it like a baseball. Oh, I found it out, guys. It all makes sense. Yo! You're late, Makoto. We're all been waiting for you. I bet you were afraid you would be discovered as the murderer you are. Listen to me. Let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Save that for the class trial. There, we can reveal all the we could all reveal the details of Makoto's crime. But they are really convinced I did it, but it's Leon. I didn't do it. Me and Sayaka both know that all too well. But then, who is the killer? What kind of fucking motive does Leon have? The one who murdered... Is it really one of... It's Leon. Why?
Is everyone here? Okay then. Please board the elevator in front of you, which will transport you to the courtroom, where all your fates will be decided. I'll meet you all down there. I'll be waiting.
Leon?
You know what I mean.
You son of a bitch. Well, I did my job. I'm counting on the rest of you from here on out. What does that mean? Well then, the time has finally come. Are you ready? Alright. I guess I have no choice but to get on this elevator.
Well then.
Let us begin.
Yes, indeed.
Good idea.
Hey,
Are you scared?
No, scared isn't quite right.
Makoto.
I said it before, but it's up to you to uncover the mystery surrounding this case yourself. If you don't, you'll never come to grips with the truth.
I need to uncover the truth of Sayaka's death. I didn't need someone else to tell me to do that. In Sayaka's honor, I'll swear I'll find out who the real killer is. As I raised my voice to try and give myself courage, I turned, trembling with anticipation, toward the elevator. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. And everyone else was already on the elevator. When I finally stepped on, the doors closed and the elevator started to move. This is a big-ass elevator. The steel box descended with heavy clinking sounds towards the school's basement. I wonder if this is how the death row inmate feels when his time finally comes.
Oh,
Rather than that, it is not more than like a defendant waiting to receive his judgment.
Oblivious to our shared anxiety, the elevator lowered us further and further into the bowels of the school. You finally arrived! What do you think? Doesn't it feel like a real courtroom? It's like a Hollywood movie set, right?
Shit.
Not even close. It's total shit.
Well now.
Okay, everyone find your assigned seats and sit down. Hurry up now! Hurry up! We did what he said and found our seats. What? The seats were arranged in a giant circle. It was set up so that everyone could see everyone else, which also meant it would be easy for anyone to transfer their tension and unease onto anyone else. The air seemed to grow heavy as we sat there. And so the curtain on our first case opened. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. I know who it is, I hope. I mean, I already checked. I guess I could check before? What is this? Select skills. Increase your truth bullet rate of fire, effective during the non-stop debate and the bullet time battle final strike. What is this? I guess I have skills? Increase damage to the opponent when the statement is destroyed, effective during the bullet time battle. I have skills, guys! I didn't know this was a thing. I'm not ready for this.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then. Everyone, close your eyes. And whoever did it, raise your hand.
What?
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Oh my god.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
What?
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people.
What? What? There's a 16th member?
Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin.
It's about to begin the debate to decide who we think the killer is. It's Leon. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me, everyone's lives are on the line. Your first non-stop debate is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Sure. As things progress during each class trial, you will engage in a number of non-stop debates. During these discussions, characters will speak on one after another without pause. It's up to you to unearth any lies or contradictions buried within their statements. What this means is that you'll have to use your truth bullets to refute what they say. Any relevant truth bullets you found during your investigation will be loaded into the truth cylinder. Using the mouse to aim, then fire with the left mouse button. Pay close attention to each character's statements and use your truth bullets to blast the right ones. Note that if you run out of time, you will automatically fail, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well then, good luck and have fun. Narrator! Is that why you said choose Sayaka as my partner? Evidence of a struggle.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we know that part already.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
Yes.
In the bathroom.
Yep.
So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom.
What?
She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Wait, what? Wait, no, that's not it. That's not what happened. That's not... Do I not shoot the bullet because it's not the truth? Something's off about what she's just said. Because if Sayaka hadn't resisted at all, there's no explanation for what happened to my room. For this first debate, we'd like to take a quick sidebar. If you're unable to spot and refute someone's lies or contradictions, the argument will repeat. Within a group of statements, some words appear in a different color. Did you happen to notice? That represents a potential hole in the person's statement, a possible weak spot. These weak spots reveal important, though not always inaccurate, sections of a person's statement. Your truth bullets are only effective against these weak spots. So when you see one come up, take aim and fire, but only if you're sure it's actually wrong. Oh, so if it's wrong, I shoot it. Also, you can fast forward an argument by holding down the control key.
I assert that the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
we know that part already.
Yup.
And the murder took place in Makoto's room.
Yes.
In the bathroom.
Yes.
So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, that's wrong.
Objection! Break.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom? She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then she ran to the bathroom to try and hide.
Wait, I nailed her voice the first time? She talks like this? Like she's a foreigner? Oh my god.
The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon. Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. I mean, the fucking knife, right? I'm pretty sure it's a knife.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach.
How do you guys
Without
forget
a
about
doubt,
this?
That is the murder weapon.
I mean, no shit.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No, that's wrong.
Break.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach. And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
Oh, it's him.
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Misdirection. Leon, how could you?
Hold on a second.
Let's draw our conclusions after we've presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
She knows!
You really believe that?
She's right. There's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. There's a bit more to learn about the non-stop. Okay, sure. You can concentrate by holding down the space key. While you're concentrating, time will slow down so you can pay closer attention to what everyone's saying. On top of that, it'll steady your aim, making it easier to target potential weak spots. Concentrating like this consumes the focus gauge, and if the gauge empties, you can't concentrate. But the focus gauge will recover over time, so let your brain take a rest. No need to rush. Well then, good luck and have fun. Who is saying this? Aoi's account.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon. But where does that get us?
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret, when nobody was in the dining hall.
No.
No, that's wrong.
Countered! Break!
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. When I finished my tea, I went back into the kitchen to wash my cloths. One of the knives was missing.
So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall?
Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Idiot swimmer girl? Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Ugh, good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Alright, calm it down, Monokuma.
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that?
Oh shit.
I can.
What?
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
What?
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
Uh-huh.
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over.
Aw, Sakura's so nice.
Which means we have airtight alibis.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together?
Oh.
It's unwholesome!
Sakura is a girl! Kiyotaka?
But I'm a girl.
Yeah! Kiyotaka? What the fuck, man?
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Why didn't you?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Wait, what? Sakura? Wait. Wait. Did... Not Sakura. What's her name? The girl right next to Makoto on the right. The girl died? She... What? She brought the... What? I'm so...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall.
What?
And then later, she wound up dead.
What? She... What? Sayaka. Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen was... Sayaka?
I got it!
Why would it be Monokuma?
Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself.
I'm sure I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
No way! Did Sayaka actually... That would make more sense, actually. Because I can't think of a motive that Leon would have against Sayaka.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Your first Hangman's Gambit is about to be... Yeah. As things advance further in the class trial, the Hangman's Gambit will eventually take place. The point of this is to reveal an important phrase related to the incident in question. We'll have to deduce the phrase from the letters flying around and the letters already known. Complete the phrase by shooting down the flying letters in the right order. Use the mouse to aim and press the left mouse button to shoot the desired letters. What? If you shoot down the wrong letters, you'll suffer damage to your influence. I don't... If this gauge reaches 0, or if you run out of time, you fail. Well, good luck at... Fuck you, narrator. Something that should have been at the scene, but wasn't. That must be a crucial point. If you can just figure out what happened... Figure out what that something is. What is that something? What could it be? 4? Oh. Oh. Oh, is it hair?
Now I understand.
Oh, because of a lint roller.
That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Ha ha ha! Yes, very true, very true!
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Woohoo! Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
Hell yeah, Kyoko.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Hell yeah, Sakura.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene?
The pseudo numbers?
Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom.
Oh, it's a guy.
There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The killer struggled getting into the bathroom, and the evidence that proved it is the object the killer broke. Oh shit, I'm timed.
I got it! evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh, yeah, true. But what does it mean?
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room? But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Yoko said it was a bewildering act. I almost didn't notice it at first, but is that the key point here? There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Sure. From here on out, the number of weak spots will start to going up. And no matter how many weak spots, there's essentially only one lie or contradiction in that debate. What I'm trying to say is, not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. Use a truth bullet on the wrong one, and not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'll also lower your trust in everyone, and your influence gauge will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence gauge reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or contradictions. Well then, good luck and have fun!
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Yep.
She then fled into the bathroom.
Yep.
Then the killer ran after her.
Yep.
And they got into the bathroom.
Yep.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Yep.
Because Sayaka had locked it.
No!
No, that's wrong.
Fuck you, Leon!
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup. True as true can be.
God damn it, I forgot he was here.
But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door... That's not lucky at all!
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked, but they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime... Yep.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Okay, then who did do it?
It's Leon.
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Fool me.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
I know who did it.
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
What?
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Oh.
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
I actually think that's right.
No, that can't be it either.
No, I think that's right.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place.
Never questioned it, but what's wrong with his hair? Like that little point. That's weird.
Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Because she asked me to do something in particular because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. There's no way Sayaka let someone in because... Because what?
I got it!
Because the key?
Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone.
Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
She did it. She absolutely did it. She baited Leon, I think.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
What? There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, can see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil.
Ah, the classic LA Noir technique.
And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
LA Noir!
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
Yo, Mondo is fucking pissed.
Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Wait, what?
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No!
No, I didn't. But...
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
It's cause she was gonna kill him!
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone.
The killer!
She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Sure.
Very well then. Pay attention. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
Yes.
But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
The killer went to my room instead of Sayaka's, and the reason for that is, it has to be because of what got switched between my and Sayaka's room.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see.
I don't know what's wrong.
So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, that's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name.
Oh, thank God I got the right one.
And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
The wording was getting to me. I was like, they both sound the same. My room and Sayaka and Makoto's room.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right. Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. It's Sayaka.
I got it!
I can't believe it.
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
Something I want to talk to you about, just the two of us. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that,
She was gonna pin the death on Leon to Makoto. Oh my god!
we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room.
Oh my god! And then it didn't work out. She couldn't kill Leon. Leon accidentally killed Sayaka. And this all happened now.
That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
I know.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes?
Ooh, Leon, getting a little nervous, aren't we?
Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because there was gold shit on her wrist.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What? What happened in my room? And what led to Sayaka's death? That's probably what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop... Jesus Christ, alright, what's up? Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Yes. Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of these bullets can actually refute this proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the what? Oh no. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the Q key to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the Q key to cycle through each bullet. Or you can use the mouse wheel. By the way, if the logic difficulty is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes, this time the logic difficulty will be set to mean? Why? What? Why would you what? Was there a point with that difficulty meter? Why would it just set to mean?
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
I messed up.
Shoot!
Yo, I messed up. Oh fuck, I messed up.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away.
But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
What? If the person with the sword really did attack first, there's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No, that's wrong.
I think I got it.
Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched. See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Sayaka struck first. Holy shit.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead. Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you were going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Unless it was a baseball bat. Leon?
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it! So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere, then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening!
No!
So she grabbed the sword to defend herself, but then the culprit took that from her too!
No!
Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
Yes!
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
Wait, what? What? There's part of her body that shows she never... You mean her hand? Her palms, right? Her stomach.
You're talking about her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
Wait, what?
No, that's not it at all.
That escalated quickly. There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating off her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about the water is off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
What?
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
Oh my god!
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
What?
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
Yes. God damn, it took you this long, huh?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Yep.
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
So why did you write Leon's name? Other than Leon coming in. What if it's not Leon?
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
Yep. What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms was so that she could pin the crime on you.
Yes.
That is a possibility,
Yes.
is it not?
Oh my god, it's so fucked up.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
I mean, you did say whatever is whatever you'll do, you'll keep her safe, and I knew she was gonna backstab me somehow. Yep.
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying. And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Yo, you've been used, Makoto.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Yep.
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Oh, so fucked. Sayaka! I didn't trust you. Oh, but in deep down, I was like, maybe. Like 1%.
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it. Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
We had a time limit?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery.
I know the answer.
If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Come on, man. Yes. Yes!
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
No, that's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining? Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood.
No!
There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
It's Leon! Upside down!
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Yes! There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
Not numbers!
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just, look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
It's elite speak. Damn, it's no use, I just don't know. What do you mean?
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Thank you, Kyoko. Huh? Rotate it? I think maybe I see something?
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer.